Good afternoon. Welcome to Afternoon Chat. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. How's everybody doing today? The chat is up and running. What's going on, people? Drinking, gambling, carrying on, the usual. I got nothing happening. It's 15 degrees outside. That's more than enough reason to keep me indoors. Afternoon Chat, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A free show. The guest stars are the people in the chat. They determine what we talk about. This show has no script, no agenda. I'm here to meet people and find out what's on their mind. No midstream ads, no commercials, no sponsors. I'm not running for political office. I'm not trying to become an online influencer. I'm not coming out with a line of merch. Okay. One of the few people on TV that's not trying to sell you a damn thing. What's on your mind? What would you guys like to talk about today? Yesterday, I was negative as hell. I was. Yeah, I'm a cigarette smoker. That's your proof that I'm not AI, okay? AI doesn't smoke. I was actually thinking about doing an AI-related project. Well, I've got to consider it. Doesn't mean I have to do it, but I do need to consider it. Well, right now, I don't know anything about AI, except when I see it on TV and I don't like it. I did not watch a tremendous amount of news this morning, so I'm probably not going to go off today. You might take comfort in that, may not. I don't know. When you take a stance on something, it stands to reason that 50% of the people aren't going to agree with you. If that's the case, well, we'll see. Yesterday, I took a pretty fierce stance against ICE. Well, I just think that it's bad for America, bad for the United States. I think the other countries of the world are looking at us thinking we've all lost our minds. Okay. I'm not sure they had a great opinion of America to begin with. I mean, America's doing some shady shit. Well, what jumps to my mind is Syria. There's an ongoing conflict in Syria, and the United States just changed sides. They were backing the Kurds, and the Kurds were pro-democracy. And now the U.S. is backing a dictator. that is running around killing the Kurds. They completely switch sides. I don't think that gives foreign countries any solace of any kind. They don't know where America's going to stand one day to the next. It doesn't look good. Well, the United States is not pro-democracy anymore. That's the way it appears. I mean, you can disagree. Jump in the chat. If you want to be able to chat, you need to go to YouTube and get their Discord app. It's free. Matter of fact, like and subscribe to this channel. It's also free. I guess it helps YouTube in some way. It's not really clear to me, but okay. Well, it's the only platform we're on, so not only do we need to follow their community guidelines, but we also need to, do what they want us to do. I do want the channel to get monetized, but not for this show. This show is always going to be free. I created this show because I missed meeting people. My adult life I spent in Las Vegas, working in the casinos, table game industry, blackjack, craps, and roulette. On the front lines, meeting people. I've probably met at least 100 people a week for 30 plus years. In my retirement, I missed it. So I created this show so I can meet people again. And it's working out. Getting new people in the chat each week. I don't care what we talk about, but if nobody jumps in the chat, we're stuck with wherever my mind wanders, because I'm not going to live stream dead air. Yesterday, I was anti-ICE based on their actions. So what do you guys got in mind today? Anything specific you'd care to discuss? If you've ever wanted to talk to your TV, here's a golden opportunity. I really don't have an agenda. Well, myself, politically, I consider myself an independent conservative. I strongly believe in the Second Amendment. I strongly believe in small government. I strongly believe that government needs to leave people alone as much as possible. Independent conservative. I don't agree with what the Republicans are doing. I don't agree with what the Democrats are doing. I think all they're doing is taking bribes and representing the corporations that are bribing them. or the individuals that are bribing them. I don't think they represent the voters. Well, appearances can be deceiving, but I'm telling you, the way I see it, they're all in there for self-enrichment, which is why, yesterday I'm telling you, vote them all out of office. I don't care what party they're affiliated with. If they're holding public office right now, they're not doing their job, so vote them out. Let's get a fresh crop of people in there and see if they can do better. That's my opinion. I mean, feel free to voice yours. I mean, that's why the chat's enabled. If I just wanted to voice my opinion, I wouldn't enable the chat. And speaking of that, 30 minutes before this show starts, the chat is open. You guys can get in there and talk if you like without me. Okay? I'm not coming on until 3 o'clock. So if it's 2:30 and you want to talk to other people in the chat, jump in there. It's free. The only rules are to stay within the community guidelines of YouTube. Well, we don't want to piss YouTube off. It's the only platform we're on. Speaking of platforms, I saw TikTok is being censored now. All these conservative billionaires are buying up the social media sites and censoring them. As far as I'm concerned, they're just going to put themselves out of business. I don't think people want to be censored. I believe you should be able to censor yourself, but I don't think anyone else should be able to censor you, what you talk about. YouTube doesn't censor me. They've never said a bad word to me, and I've been on this for 5 months, talking about whatever I want. Of course, I'm not lying to people. I'm not, threatening people. Well, I'm used to being on camera. I spent 33 years in the gaming industry on camera all day, every day. You have a certain responsibility in how to act. I'm still being myself. But I do, try to censor my own language. When I talk about self-censorship, though, I'm talking about what I intake from the news. I actually believe it's good not to watch the news every day, because the news in this country is, number one, propaganda, and number two, completely negative. They try to scare you. That's the number one tool in their toolbox. They scare people so that they can divvy them up into small subgroups and then make them easier to control and manipulate. I don't let them control or manipulate me. If I have to, I'll censor myself. I'm planning on taking a week off from the news after the Super Bowl. I'll tell you how I'm planning to do it too, if you want. Tom Grossi. will be doing a charity live stream about a week after the Super Bowl. Last year, he went 7 days, streamed 24 hours a day. I'll be watching him and his channel for the entire week. I'm not going to watch any news. I'm not going to watch any other programs. No other videos. Just Tom. It's hard to get all this negative information every day and stay sane. That's my opinion anyways. What's yours? I mean, feel free to jump in the chat. You're welcome. That's why it's enabled, you know. I'm not planning on any particular rant today, so who knows what I'll think of. Yeah, the show's been going about 5 months now. I think it's real interesting that no one's ever said a bad word to me. The research that I did told me that when I started this, I would probably get trolled quite a bit. Hasn't happened. Well, number one, we're not in front of that many people. That's become evident. Well, YouTube probably doesn't know how to sort this show out. There's no other show like it. Every other show is structured. Okay. All the other shows appear to have an agenda. I don't care. If you want to talk about Christmas cookies, we can talk about Christmas cookies. I don't care. So if you ever hear me rambling on about something and you want me to change the subject, jump in the chat and change it yourself. I'll give you the lead. My opinions don't matter to anybody except me. I'm not trying to control or manipulate people. That's why the show doesn't have a script and it doesn't have an agenda. Is I don't want to put my thumb on the scale and say, oh, we have to talk about Lions football. Or, oh, we have to talk about war. Or we have to talk about politics. I'm not doing that. Some things will be on my mind on a given day, depending on what information I exposed myself to prior to the show. Okay. Yesterday morning, I watched a ton of news. This morning, I was watching Cross Timbers Bison. It's a favorite show. There's a guy, his name's Dusty Baker. He's in southern Oklahoma, and he is raising American bison. Wild animals. Big wild animals. Okay. I find the whole show interesting. I watch it. And I go back and I watch old episodes. It's very interesting to me. If I were a young man, I might be interested in doing something like that. it's extremely dangerous. So as an old man, you're never going to see me in a pasture with a 1,000 pound wild animal that thinks knocking people around is fun. Okay. They might have a contest to decide how far they can throw you. You don't know what they're thinking. They're wild animals. But Dusty Baker, he's going after it, you know. And I think it's very entertaining. I love the show. I think it's, you know, like anything else. If it catches your interest, go for it. If it doesn't, then don't. I think it's real interesting, and I've enjoyed watching this show. He shows you the hardship. He shows you the dirty jobs. But, you know, he's also showing you things that, you know, like land restoration. It matters. Well, you got bison, you got to have some place for them to graze. Yeah, he's got a website and he sells food products, and he's got a line of merch, that kind of stuff. Well, a lot of guys got lines of merch nowadays. Pretty much everybody but me. That's by design. No, I don't want to come out with a line of merch. That's a whole different set of headaches. I'm still trying to learn about live streaming. My plate's full. I got a 2-hour show 5 days a week. Keeps me busy. As busy as I care to be. It's growing. Slow but sure. I think I'm at 47 subscribers. 5 months ago, I was at 0. So it's going. I just like talking to people, finding out what's on their mind. And I believe everybody has the right to voice their opinion, to speak their mind. Now, if you're in a foreign country and your country monitors your speech, don't get yourself into trouble on this show. But here in the United States, we have freedom of speech. I can talk about anything I want to talk about. I can tell you how to live stream. It's real simple. If it wasn't, I wouldn't be able to do it. I don't have a production manager. I don't have a makeup artist either. I'm sorry. This is as pretty as I'm going to get, folks. No, you guys in the chat, you're the ones that have control over this show. I know you don't realize it because no one's ever given you control of a show. But talk about anything you want. I don't mind. If you want to talk about making pot holders for the poor, okay. You got a charity you like? You want to talk about it? Okay. I don't care. I'm not trying to get you guys to do anything. Well, other than watch the show, chat on the show, But yeah, I'm not trying to lead people and I'm not trying to control or manipulate anyone. All of our news in the United States is all propaganda now. They're all trying to control and manipulate you, and they're using your fears to do it. If you watch the news in America, you'd think there's an armed gunman on every corner that's been plotting to kill you for weeks. It's not true, but they're using your fears. They're going to keep showing you the same crime over and over and over again. It's to divvy you up into subgroups. And then they want to pit the two groups against each other, or the 5 groups against each other. And they're using your fears. Every time they tell you, oh, there's a shooter at Walmart in such and such a city, it's to scare you. They're not telling you, oh, there were 339,999,999 people that didn't pick up a gun and point it at anybody today. They're going to show you the one person that did and use that to scare the hell out of you. They try to divvy you up into smaller groups. To start with, there's one group. It's called the human race. They want to divvy you up Christian against Muslim, or they want to divvy you up Republican against Democrat, or they want to divvy you up black against white. They're all subgroups. There's only one group. That's the human race. We're all basically the same. And we're all codependent on one another. You don't realize it, but you're codependent on every human being on this planet. Because all the human beings get up and go to work every day. The human beings that don't get up and go to work every day don't survive. Okay? They die. We have a linear existence. You're born, you grow up, you learn to work, and then you die. It's the same for all of us. I don't care if you're living in a grass shack in Somalia, you got to get up and go to work every day. If you're living in New York City, in Manhattan, you've got to get up and go to work every day, or you're not going to survive. You're not going to make it. The human race, that's the one group. Everything else they're divvying you up into is subgroups, and they're pitting you against one another by design. They're telling you that the other group is out to get you. They're using your fears, your insecurities against you. Are you sitting around thinking about murdering people? I'm not. Normal people aren't. But if you watch the news, oh, those Republicans are out to get you. Oh, those Democrats are plotting your demise. No, they're not. Do they do things differently? Yes. So what? Get past it. Gosh. It's not tough. It's real easy. Mind your own business. Stop trying to micromanage your neighbor. He don't have to be like you. Tolerance of your fellow human being is all it takes. I like to walk on the right-hand side of the road. You like to walk on the left-hand side of the road. What business is it of mine what the hell you're doing? You're just walking down the road. All I got to do is tolerate you. It doesn't matter whether I think you're doing it wrong. You didn't ask for my help, so all I got to do is keep my mouth shut. Yet you find all these human beings standing in their front yard yelling at their neighbors as they walk by. You're not doing that right. What business is it of yours? Every time you try to tell that neighbor what to do, you're telling him it's okay for him to tell you what to do. And you sure as hell don't want anybody telling you what to do. Do you want your neighbor barking orders at you, telling you how to park your car? No. So why stand in your front yard and holler at your neighbor and tell him how to park his car? You're teaching him, treat me poorly. Nitpick my whole life. Every decision I make is not your business, and every decision you make is not my business. All I have to do is tolerate you. I don't have to agree with you. I don't even have to like you. But I do need to tolerate you. Just to get along. If I don't like the way you're doing something, too bad. If you don't like the way I'm doing something, too bad. Get over it. Human beings, while we all have common ground, we are all at the same time unique individuals. And it's not your place to sit in judgment over your fellow human beings. What if you're wrong? What if they're wrong? Part of being a human being is we all make mistakes. If we all make mistakes, then sometimes you're wrong, sometimes I'm wrong. So if I go and I make you do things my way, and my way turns out to be wrong, you see where I'm going with this? Just tolerate your fellow man. Who cares? I don't care how you mow your lawn. I'm glad you mow your lawn, but I don't care how you do it. Hire somebody. Do it yourself. You can get out there with a damn pair of scissors and cut that lawn yourself if you want. I don't care. I'm thankful you cut that lawn. Tolerance of your fellow man. You want proof? Open your front door, take a look. Everything that you see is man-made. That's your bona fide evidence. That's your proof that the human beings before you put aside their differences and worked together. They built great things. You think you can build a skyscraper by yourself? Go ahead and try. You can spend 20 years and not complete that task. If you want to complete that task, get some other human beings to help you. The only way you can get other people to help you is you got to tolerate the differences between human beings. I wear black and gray t-shirts. You wear white t-shirts. If I want you on my team, if I want you to help me, I've got to get past the fact that you wear white t-shirts. If I can't get past it, I'll never be able to get you on my team. And if I can't get you on my team, you're not going to help me do anything. And vice versa. If you can't get past my differences, you can't get me on your team. You can't get me to help you with squat. Tolerance of your fellow man, that's the only thing you got to be, is tolerant. You don't have to like each other. You don't have to agree on anything. But you do have to tolerate one another. If you're trying to build that skyscraper by yourself, 20 years in, you're still not going to be done. But if you get 1,000 men to help you, you can get it done quicker. Your workload is less, and you achieve your goals sooner. There's your instant motivation for being tolerant of your fellow human being. I don't care if you're the same color I am, the same religion I am. I don't care if you speak the same language I do. If I can get you on my team, I lighten my own workload and I achieve all of my goals faster. All I have to do is be tolerant to you and your damn white t-shirt. And I only wear V-necks. Some of you are wearing crew necks. I guess I got to tolerate that too. I just got to get past it. If I ever want to be on your team or get you on my team, we've got to get by our differences. Get past it. Grow up. Okay? It's not hard. The more people you can tolerate, the more teams you can be on. The more people you tolerate, the more people can be on your team. It's basic math. I don't care what you're trying to build. I don't care what your task is. The more people you got on your side, the less you have to work, and the sooner you accomplish your goals. Plain and simple. Every time you say, I'm not willing to tolerate that guy, who's losing? You are. That's all you had to do was tolerate his differences, and you failed. So you lose. You have to do your job without him and without his help. Plain and simple. Being tolerant of your fellow man is not always easy. But if you want to succeed, if you want to achieve all your goals, you need your fellow man to help you. This channel, prime example. If I want to succeed, I've got to get people on my team. I need them to like, I need them to subscribe, and I need them to view the show. I need them to get in the chat and participate in the show. That's the only way I'm going to succeed. I don't care what your task is. I don't care what you're trying to accomplish. It doesn't matter. If you're not succeeding, you need more people on your team. The more people work together, the faster they succeed, and the better their life becomes. If you live in a small town in America, let's say a population of 300 in your city, can you go bowling at 2 o'clock in the morning? Probably not. Can you go to the driving range and hit a bucket of balls at 4 o'clock in the morning? Probably not. There's not going to be a place open. You need people so that those businesses are open so that you can go out and take advantage of that. If you live in Podunk, Iowa, and there's one movie theater, and the guy that works there is sick today, how do you go to the movie? But if you live in New York City and there are 500 movie theaters, you've got a lot of options. You're depending on all those people to get up and go to work that day. You don't know their names, but you need them, and you depend on them, and you get quality of life because they're there. You go to any major city, and you can get up and do anything anytime you want. You live in Las Vegas, you want to go bowling at 3 o'clock in the morning? Go ahead. Bowling alley will be open. You live in New York City and you want to go to the theater at midnight and watch a Rocky Horror Picture Show? There's probably one open. All of these city functions from the big cities are because when human beings get together and collaborate, their life gets better. They have more options of things that they can do. Any task that they try to do, they can accomplish quicker. If you live in a town that only has a population of 300 people and you want to build your own bowling alley, how long is it going to take? But if you live in New York City with a population of 9 or 10 million, you can build that damn bowling alley pretty fast. You can accomplish anything you want pretty fast because you've got more people. Human beings work together and depend on each other every day. They just don't know each other. You know, when I get up and I walk over to the wall and I hit my light switch, the lights come on. I don't know who works at the electric company, but I know they're damn dependable because my lights seem to work 365 days a year. Same thing when I walk over to my kitchen sink and I turn on the water. Drinking water comes out. I don't know the people that work at the water company. Don't know their names, but I'm dependent on them because they make my life easier. If you want to go out to a restaurant to eat, you need the owner of the restaurant, you need the cook, you need the waitress, you need the busboy, you need the dishwasher. You need them all there doing their jobs. And guess what? They're there every day. You can depend on it. That's why we live in cities. If you move out 50 miles from nowhere and you build a cabin, you don't have electricity. You don't have running water. Your life gets really hard really fast. You've got to now work from sun up to sundown. And unless you hunted, you probably don't have food. If you live in the city, you just simply go down to the grocery store. The shelves are stocked. Buy whatever you want. But if you're 50 miles from your nearest neighbor, where are you going to go when you're out of salt? Where are you going to go when you're out of mustard? You can't even make a damn sandwich. Think about that. You're depending on human beings all across this planet, whether you realize it or not. We take it for granted. We don't know each other's names. I don't know the guy that works at the gas station, but I know that I can go and get gas. I don't know the guy that worked on that oil rig. I don't know the guy that worked at that refinery. I don't know the trucker that delivered the gas to the station. I don't know any of those guys, but I depend on them every stinking day. And it's very dependable. My quality of life has gone up immensely because I can depend on all these people. But if you watch the news or you listen to your politicians, they're telling you, oh, you got to hate those guys. You got to dislike those guys. You can't trust those guys. Those guys are plotting to hurt you. They're not. They're guys just like you. They got to get up and go to work every day. They're trying to take care of their family. They're trying to build for their future. Just like you. I don't care if their skin's a different color. I don't care if they're a different religion. It doesn't matter. They're doing the exact same thing here as they're doing in Russia. In Russia, the Russian people got to get up and go to work every day. So why do you want to hate them? Why do you want to fear them? Their government is bad. Our government is bad. All governments can be bad. Doesn't make the people bad. The people are good. I stood on those gaming tables in Vegas for 33 years. I met people from every country on this planet, and I was working for tips. And let me tell you, they all tipped. They were all nice people. I got along with all of them. Your fellow human beings are your best friend. You just haven't met them yet. And I don't care if the man's wearing a red hat or a dress. It doesn't make a difference. They're still good people. They're not plotting on killing you. The people that are using your fears against you are trying to pit you against each other because it makes you easier to control and manipulate. That neighbor that you're standing in your front yard yelling at, when the shit hits the fan in your neighborhood and you're standing in chin high water, he's going to come tooling by in a boat. He's going to pull you up out of the water, or reverse the situation. You're the one in the boat and he's the one in the water. Are you going to sit there in the boat and watch him drown? No, you'd never consider it. You always do the right thing. So does he. And when those waters go down, that neighbor you don't know will be standing shoulder to shoulder with you, cleaning up the mess and putting us all back together. You can depend on him to do that. Your fellow human being is your best friend you haven't met yet. When the shit hits the fan, we all stand together. It's what human beings do. That politician that's telling you, oh, you got to hate those Democrats, he's a lying sack of shit. You're a fool if you're a Republican and you're hating Democrats. You're being manipulated. You're being controlled. He's using your fears against you. That Democrat, when he's standing in the floodwater, you're gonna pull him up out of the water and pull him into the boat. And when it's reversed and the Democrats in the boat and the Republicans in the water, the same exact thing's gonna happen. He's gonna pull you up out of that water every time. Tolerate your fellow human being. You do not have to agree with him. You do not have to like him. But you do need to tolerate him. And when you learn to tolerate one another, then your hate and your fears are in control. Then you're not flying off with uncontrolled anger. Tolerate your fellow human being, and your fellow human being can tolerate you. That's all you got to do. You don't have to like them. You don't have to buddy up with them. All you got to do is tolerate them enough so that you can get along, you can work together, you can work and live side by side without confrontation. That's my opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and voice yours. My opinion, I like all human beings. I don't hate any of them. You cannot hate a man without having an uncontrolled fear of that man. And an uncontrolled fear cannot function within the boundaries of our society. Our society has laws and rules that we must all stay within. If you stray outside those boundaries, our society is designed to squash you like a bug. They're going to smack you down in a hurry. You must live your life following the laws and the rules of our society. In the United States, you're allowed to own a gun. It's legal. But If your fears get control of you, your rational thinking is tossed out the window, and you think all of your neighbors are going to hurt you, then you're going to walk out in your front yard and start waving that gun around. When you start pointing that gun at people, you're breaking the law. Your fears got control of you, and now you can't separate right from wrong. Now you think all those people are out to get you, and they're not. So who's the bad guy in this instance? No one was attacking you. You went out and you tried to show them, I have a gun, stay away from me. And then you broke the law by pointing it at somebody that wasn't attacking you. Now our society is going to swoop in and they're going to take your gun away. And then they're going to check you into a hospital for 72 hours for a psychiatric hold because you lost control. Your fears took control and your rational thinking was tossed out the window. And if you can't think rationally, our society is going to lock you up because you've become a threat. You must control your fears. And our news media is using your fears to control you. Don't let them. Anybody that gets on TV and tells you you need to fear and hate someone else, they're not your friend. You don't need to fear and hate other people. You simply need to tolerate them. Get over it. Get past it. Stop trying to micromanage your neighbors. It's not your place. Allow them freedoms so that they can in turn allow you freedoms. Every time you try to tell your neighbor what to do, you're telling him it's okay for him to tell you what to do. Every time you try to intimidate your neighbor, you're telling him it's okay for him to try to intimidate you. It's not. Our society says you must color within the lines. If you stray out of the lines, our society will squash you quickly. It's human nature to lash out. But in society, you're not allowed to walk up and hit somebody in the mouth. If you do, they call the police and you get locked up. Even though it's human nature to lash out from time to time, you must be in control of your faculties. You can stand there and argue with that man, but you cannot throw the punch. You must be in control. And if your fears are in control, you're in trouble. Because now you're going to throw the punch. And society is going to come at you hard and fast, and they do not lose. Think about it. When your small child calls you into the room, Daddy, can you leave a nightlight on? I'm afraid of the dark. It's my job as his father to teach him to control his fears, to control his imagination. I turn the lights on. I open the closet. No monsters in here, son. I look under the bed. No monsters down here, son. I reassure him, you're safe. I'm going to be in the next room. I'll be there when you wake up in the morning. I'm not leaving. I'm not going to let anyone hurt you. You're safe. I teach him to control his fears, to control his imagination. And now he grows up into a young adult, and the news comes on and tells him, you've got to fear these guys over here. They're out to get you. They're encouraging his imagination. They're encouraging his fears. No one's out to get you, son. They're trying to live their life. They're making their own set of mistakes, just like you. They're trying to build their future, just like you. They're doing what they got to do. They're going to work. They're doing their thing. The whole world is not plotting against you. Control your fears. You don't have to like the guy, but you do need to tolerate him. We see it all the time. The news media is using your fears to divvy you up into smaller subgroups, which makes it easier to control and manipulate you. Your fellow human being is not your enemy. If you're an American, your fellow American is not your enemy. I'm sorry I'm the only one on TV telling you this, but it's true. They want you to fear your fellow American so that you're easier for them to control and manipulate. Your fellow American's not out to get. Are you sitting around on your couch plotting to get me? I'm not sitting around plotting to get you. Those thoughts don't enter my mind. They don't enter your mind because we're sane. We've got better things to do. It's a shame, but this is what it's come to in 2026. They're going to keep showing you crime after crime after crime. How come they're not showing you Good Samaritan? How come they're not showing you people working together and building great things every day? Because that doesn't make you easier to control and manipulate. You've seen the tagline they put on. It comes on and they say, Mother killed, children abducted, story at 11. We all tune in at 11 like little robots. Whose mother? Where are the kids? They're scaring us. Don't be afraid. I'm telling you. Open your front door and point to the bad guy. You can't. You may not like that guy. You may not like the way that other guy's dressed. You may not trust that third guy. But it doesn't make him a bad guy. There are no bad guys out there. There's just guys just like you. we're all good guys and we're all bad guys at the same time. I can make a mistake. You can make a mistake. That doesn't make us bad guys. We're not sitting around plotting against one another. That's not what sane people do. So when your TV is telling you to fear your fellow American, they're not being your friend. When your politician's telling you that other side is evil, he's not being your friend. The truth of the matter is, you and that other guy might have disagreements. You might even dislike each other. But all you need to do to survive and to thrive is to tolerate one another. Get along. I remember I was working this job in the casino industry in Vegas. And new boss hired in to a position I was qualified to get. As soon as he got there, he knew if I fuck up at my job, they're just going to give it to this guy. It made him hate me right off the jump. He didn't trust me. He didn't want me there. He did everything in his power to make me quit that job. I couldn't quit. My bills were due. I had to have that job. I didn't have another job lined up. I had to stay on the job. I had to tolerate his bullshit. I had to stand there and smile at him with a thick skin and say, "You ain't bothering me, son." Drove him up a wall. He couldn't stand it. All I had to do was tolerate him and his bullshit. I wasn't going to quit that job and wreck my life. I had bills to pay. I had responsibilities. Did I get my resume together and look for other work? Yes. Let's be realistic. I didn't know if he was going to fire me. He was the boss. I ended up working under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, but I couldn't let him see that it was bothering me. I had to tolerate him because I had my own agenda. I got to pay my bills. That's all you got to do with your fellow human being is just tolerate him. You don't have to like him. You don't have to be buddies. But you need to tolerate him. And if you do, you're the better man. Tolerance of your fellow human being is not too much to ask. It can be accomplished. You just got to get past it. I'm not going to quit my job because this guy don't like me. That's not part of my plan. My plan is to stay on the job, to get my hours, to get my paycheck, to pay my bills, to build my life. I don't care if he's a jerk. He can be a jerk all he wants. All I got to do is tolerate him. I might have to restrain myself from hitting him in the mouth once in a while, but I have to do that anyways because it's illegal to lash out and hit someone in the mouth, right? All I have to do is tolerate him. If your politicians or your newscasters are telling you to fear and hate other human beings, they're not being your friend. If you're an American and they're telling you to fear and hate your fellow Americans, they are not being your friend. I'll be your friend, and I'll tell you, all you have to do is tolerate your fellow American. You don't have to like him. You don't have to be best buds. You don't have to agree with him. Just tolerate him. If you're an American, your fellow American is not your enemy. If you're an American, your Canadian neighbor is not your enemy. Your Mexican neighbor is not your enemy. You should be very suspicious of the guy that's telling you he is your enemy, because he's not. He's not plotting against you. He's not getting ready to attack you. He's simply leading his life, building for his future, taking care of his family. These people that are telling you to fear other people are not your friends. I'm telling you, tolerate other human beings. Don't hate, tolerate. Get past it. Sane people are not sitting around plotting to hurt one another. Sane people aren't sitting around plotting to lash out at their fellow human beings. Those people that are doing that are not sane. Those people are mentally ill. They've been radicalized by watching all this negative news telling them to hate you. If you're feeling that much fear, you've been radicalized. Get some counseling. Get some help. It's not normal to sit around being afraid. If you're afraid of everybody and everything, you're going to curl up in the corner of your apartment, unable to go outside. You've got to control those fears. That's where your quality of life is. If you're afraid to go outside your door, you've been radicalized. You've been controlled and manipulated. I'm telling you, the good guys outnumber the bad guys by a lot. And not just in this country. I'm telling you, in this planet, the good guys outnumber the bad guys by a lot. I saw a study back in the 70s. It caught my attention, and I've never forgot about it. They said since the beginning of the United States, they'd been tracking crime and criminal behavior. They said that the felony criminals, it always stayed at 7% of the population. No matter what laws they enacted, no matter how militarized they made the police force, they couldn't have changed that number. They had tried for 200 years. They couldn't change that number. That's 7% of bad guys. It never went to 8%. It never went to 6%, no matter what laws they put in Congress. No matter how large they made the police force, they could not change that 7% number. 7% of the population in America is what we can call felony criminal. Not jaywalkers, not speeding tickets. I'm talking felony criminal, violent crime. 7%. What I gleaned from that study was that 93% of us are not bad guys. 93% of us are not felon criminal. Only 7% are. And of that 7%, 2 million are currently behind bars. Between federal, state, and local authorities, 2 million of those criminals are currently behind bars. It's safer out there than you think. By design, they are using your fears to control and manipulate you. There's not a killer on every corner in America. It's just not true. They're not showing you the good deeds that people do for each other every day. That doesn't make the news. They can't get you to tune in at 11 to find out that Mary made an apple pie and shared it with her new neighbors. That's not going to get you to tune in at 11. But if they give you a tease line and they think, I think Mary put poison in her apple pie. Tune in at 11 to get the story. We're all going to tune in. They're using your fears to control and manipulate you. They're trying to divvy you up into smaller subgroups, and then they tell each group, the other guy's out to get you. He's not out to get you. He's living his life. He's building for his future, taking care of his family. Don't let them scare you into hating one another. You don't have to agree with every American. You don't even have to like every American. But you do need to tolerate. What's up, Wavy? Wavy Mark 5. How's it going? I'm glad you jumped in the chat. Why, thank you. You seem cool too. What part of the world you from? I'm in Michigan. And it's like 15 degrees with a foot of snow on the ground. It's nasty out there. I'm staying indoors. Oh, Pittsburgh. I'm glad. Hey, 4G, how are you? I've been to Pittsburgh a number of times. Three Rivers, Allegheny, Monongahela, and the Ohio. Yeah, I remember Pittsburgh. Nice people there. Back in the day when I was there, it was all factory work. Oh, 4G, you're down south and you got snow? Half the country's got snow right now. The jet stream dropped down and then a cold front came in and we had Arctic temperatures. Last weekend here in Michigan, I got up one morning. My father called. He says, let's go to breakfast. I looked at my phone. It was negative 13. I said, no, thanks. I'll pass on breakfast. I don't need to go outside when it's negative numbers. You got 20 inches in Pittsburgh? Oh, my God. Man, that's horrible. 20 inches is a bit much. I think we're bad with a foot. It's the whole East Coast got dumped on. But it was the Arctic temperatures that did me. And I said, no, that's enough for me. I'm not going out when it's below zero. Sorry. That's for the young people. They got to go to work. You know what I mean? I'm not in that position anymore. I'm retired, so. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I'll tell you what, it will melt eventually. It'll go into the ground and then become drinking water. It'll go into the rivers and bring the lakes up. I started this 5 months ago, 4G. I started August 25th of last year. And I enjoy it. I get to meet nice people. I've talked to people in 8 different countries since I got on here. I enjoy it a lot. I don't know who YouTube is marketing me to. I really don't. But I do like YouTube. We can talk about anything that people in the chat want to talk about. I don't have an agenda. When I'm talking by myself, it's wherever my mind wanders that day. And today I was preaching unity, tolerance of your fellow human being. I feel almost apologetic that I'm the only one on TV talking like that, but it's the truth. All you got to do is tolerate your fellow human. Get along and work together. You can accomplish great things. But by hating one another, you're not going to build anything. They're pushing it out to everybody. They want to divvy you up into smaller subgroups and get you to hate one another and fear one another so that you're easier for them to control and manipulate. I'm 68. That's a long way from 18. What about you, 4G? How old are you? It's okay if you don't want to answer. I don't mean to get too personal, you know. I'm guessing 4G baller is probably 30. That'd be my guess. Shot in the dark, you know. 27. Yeah, my advice to you, save cash, save money. Seriously. I know it's hard to do in this day and age. The dollars that you save will give you power later in life. Serious power. I got a son that is 28 and he's doing well. Yeah. As far as stocks, we're getting ready. The stock market's getting ready to tumble again. I saw that the United States is getting ready to bomb Iran again. And the last time they bombed Iran, the stock market dropped about 500 points. I'm predicting their attack will be on Saturday. They've got a aircraft carrier in the Indian Ocean and another one in the Mediterranean, and they've evacuated all non-essential personnel and equipment. And I'm figuring on Saturday they're going to bomb Iran again. As far as the stock market goes, it's volatile. I wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket, but you're right to invest. Anytime you can get your income to make money for you, you're doing well. My 28-year-old just bought a condo. Well, there's two ways. Number one, as far as saving money goes, take it right off the top. I would say 25% of your income, put it into savings and just let it accrue. Real estate is a good investment, but it does take time. You don't want to try to flip houses or anything like that. But if you can buy like a fourplex, live in one unit and rent the other three out, pretty safe investment. It might free you up, especially if you're handy and you can do maintenance work and stuff yourself. A high yield savings account, I used to do that by rounding up or rounding down. Let me see if I can explain this. You guys don't have checking accounts anymore, right? We used to have a checking account and you would write a check to somebody, say for $25.25. In my check registry, I would write that as $26. The 75 cents, I would round that dollar up, and that 75 cents at the end of the year, I'd reconcile that checking account, and those pennies added up to about $500 or $600 a year on average. Then I'd take that $500 or $600 and put that into a savings account. The checking account thing was good for me back in my day. Nowadays, most checking accounts, people don't have actual checks. But what you can do is you can reconcile at the end of every month and just take a few bucks out, 25 to 50 bucks a month, and put that into a savings account that you never touch. What happens is when you amass some cash, You never have to use that cash. You'll always be able to walk into the bank and borrow against that cash. When you borrow against that cash, it gives you leverage when you're dealing with the bank. You're borrowing your own money in essence. Yes. Credit cards. The only credit card you need is a secured credit card. If you want $1,000 balance or $1,000 line of credit, go to your bank and give them $1,000 and say, give me a credit card off of this. That way you're not paying any interest to the bank ever. All you got to do is pay that credit card off at the end of every month. You're in essence borrowing your own money. Your credit score will skyrocket. Let me tell you, this will just take a minute. Let me tell you what happened to me. I was flying along, living life, and everything was going good till I was 55. When I was 55, I had a traffic accident, left me crippled. When I became crippled, my entire life changed. I had a credit score of about 650, pretty much average. After becoming a cripple, I stopped buying cars, stopped buying houses. I stopped buying anything. I stopped all my credit cards, everything. My life became completely different. 10 years later, I went to rent an apartment. When I went to rent an apartment, they ran a credit check and they said, you're a ghost. You have no credit score. It's a 0. I said, I used to buy a new car every 2 years. How can my credit score be 0? Well, you haven't bought anything in 10 years. So I needed to reestablish quickly. In order to reestablish quickly, I opened up 2 credit card accounts and I put up the money for those credit card accounts. I used one for online purchases. I used the other for monthly bills. And I pay them both off at the end of every month. I go into the next month with a 0 balance. But I'm not borrowing the money from the bank. I put up the cash for that credit card. Tell them what you want. You say, I want a card with a $500 max for online purchases. Give them $500. They give you the credit card. Pay it off at the end of every month. After doing that for 2 years, my credit score is now somewhere around 800. I don't carry a balance. And I don't borrow money from the bank. If you're borrowing money from the bank, you're paying the bank interest. That's not a win-win. Borrow from yourself. Put up your money for your credit card. Anytime you want, you can tell them, pay off the balance, close that account. I'm not paying the bank a dime. They're calling me, trying to get me to borrow money from them, trying to get me to do things, financial moves. I refuse. You don't want to pay the bank anything. They make enough as it is. In order to pay off your credit card debt, if you've got existing credit cards, you're paying, I'll say, between 14 and 28% interest. You've got to get away from that debt. The easiest way is make your minimum payment plus the amount that you paid in interest that month. So if they're telling you your minimum payment is $50 and you paid $35 in interest that month, then you pay $85. Pay off the interest and pay off the principal at the same time to bring that balance down faster. Once you get that balance down, then you close that account and open one with your bank with your own money. You put up the cash. If you need a $5,000 limit on that credit card for some reason, give them $5,000 in cash. Anytime you close that account, you can get that $5,000 back. That way you're never borrowing money from the bank, and it gives you a built-in 25-day grace period. So I go online, let's say at the 15th of the month, and I pay my power bill, I pay my phone bill, and then with my other account, I do, let's say, an Instacart order. Now, coming on to the first of the month, I pay off both cards, bring them down to a zero balance. Credit score goes straight up, no obstacles. And I don't ever owe anybody a damn dime. And I apologize, they didn't teach you guys this stuff in school. They should. When you were in school, they should have taught you how to handle money. It was their responsibility and they shirked it. You have to have control of your finances, or life becomes a real burden. You don't have any spending money. You don't have any ability. Wavy, there's nothing wrong with getting a financial advisor either. I'm telling you. My youngest one has had one since he was 12 years old. He had his own financial advisor. You need oversight. So you can pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm thinking about making a purchase. There are several purchases that you need to be careful of. Buying a new car, if you ain't careful, you'll end up with payments you can't afford. On the same token, buying a house, you don't want to end up with payments that you can't afford. You might be making good money now, but that's not guaranteed to be happening 5 years from now. You don't want to have a good job, start spending $75,000, $80,000 a year, and then all of a sudden you lose that good job and now you're only making $50,000 a year. But your bills need you to be making $80,000. You're upside down. That's not where you want to be. When you get that paycheck, the net, that net figure, you want to be in a position so that you can take 25% of that and set that into a savings account. You need to do this while you're young. Have you ever heard of the rule of 72? They don't teach this shit. I'm sorry. They should. All right. A division bracket, right? Yeah, 25% of every check. This is the same thing I tell my granddaughter, okay? This show's on Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be here every day. And I'm not selling you nothing, okay? And we can talk about anything you guys want to talk about, ever. We have to follow the community guidelines of YouTube. But other than that, we're golden. I don't have an agenda with this show, and I don't have a script. The stars of this show are the people in the chat. They determine what we talk about. I don't care what topic you want to talk about. I've got time. But by saving 25% of your net income, you'll train yourself over time. And this will become your main priority, and you'll always be able to live within your means. I appreciate you too, 4G. You're always welcome here. And anything I can ever help you with, don't hesitate, my brother. It's my personal philosophy that if you're nice to everyone all of the time, you're going to like your end result. You'll find this channel is inclusive. Everyone is welcome here. Every opinion is welcome here. But yeah, Wavy, 25%, it'll add up over time. My granddaughter's turning 18 in May. And I tell her the exact same thing. 25% of your net income needs to go into savings. If you can do that from a young age, 20 years down the road, it's going to pay off. And it's going to pay off big. Back to what I was telling you about this rule of 72. All right. 72 goes inside the division bracket. Your interest rate is what you divide it by. And your result, your answer, is the number of years it takes your balance to double. So if you're dividing 72 by, let's say, 4% interest rate, right? 4 goes into 72 how many times? That's how many years it takes for your balance to double. You can use this for savings, or you can use this for your bills to understand how quickly those credit card bills are doubling your balance. When you're at a high interest rate, they're going to double quick. When you're at a low interest rate, they're going to double slowly. But as you get older, the amount of money you have in the bank determines the interest rate that you get when you're doing business with the bank. When you can prove to your banker that you're better at saving money than the average bear, you're always going to get his preferred rate. And he will always be at your disposal when you walk into the bank. He will treat you like you're one of the bank bigwigs, even if you're not. All he has to do is see the proof that you know how to save 25% of your net income. And that way, that relationship with that banker later in life is going to be very important. What you need to do is control your spending. Live within your means. Don't borrow, don't go into debt unless you have to. And when you have to, you're always better off to borrow from yourself than to borrow from the bank. If I need to borrow money, I want to borrow it from me. I can go into my online banking and I can make my payment to my savings account monthly without any interest rate at all. The only way you can do that is by building that balance, 25% every paycheck. Build that balance and it'll grow faster than you think. Hey, I love talking to you guys today. Made my day. I appreciate you both, Wavy and 4G. What else is on your mind? Are you having girl problems? I'm divorced 3 times. I can give you great advice. I just can't follow it. In my opinion, I had this conversation with my youngest son last month. On first date, the first thing I want to ask a woman, are you a good liar? What position you play in football? Oh, linebacker, great position. I'll tell you a secret. I've been thinking about writing a letter to the Detroit Lions and suggesting that they eliminate cornerbacks and put in linebackers in their stead. I was going to suggest a 5-3-3. 3 safeties in the back, 3 linebackers in the middle, a linebacker that had free range anywhere on that defensive line, plus the 2 edge rushers and the 2 defensive tackles. 5 on the front line, 3 linebackers, 1 in each corner, 1 in the middle, and then 3 safeties. I don't think you need the cornerbacks. It's a limited skill position. I think you're better off with a linebacker. You've got more power. They're going to miss less tackles. They're going to be able to bring a man down. I enjoy football a lot. But I don't play. I'm crippled, right? And I'm old. But I like to watch it and I study the game. As far as I'm concerned, by taking out the cornerbacks, you're inviting them to throw to the sidelines. When you're inviting them to throw to the sideline, it's going to be in between a safety and a linebacker. They got both sides of coverage, under and over. You tell the safety to steal the route. If the quarterback throws it long, it's an interception. You tell the linebacker, stay short, look for the short pass. If it's not dead on the money, it's an interception every time, in my opinion. I was going to write this all out and send it into the Detroit Lions and try to convince them, get rid of those cornerbacks. They're too small. They can't take the pounding. Linebackers got meat on them, and they still got speed. And they can still cover the edge because you've got the out of bounds. The out of bounds is like having another man. Personal opinion. My young son played safety, and he was damn good. But the cornerbacks, they want them because of their speed. I don't think it's necessary. Personal opinion. I'd rather have a linebacker. But I think that you need one linebacker that can go anywhere on the defensive line. Sometimes you hold him back and he operates as a spy if you're going against a mobile quarterback. Other times you send him on a rush and hope he can get there free. Other times you use him to chip and help out an edge rusher. I love football. Oh, shoot. I got to wind down the show, guys. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. I do need to ask you to like and subscribe if you can. It's going to help YouTube somehow. The show's called Afternoon Chat, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A free show. Oh, 425. Oh, gosh. Ugh. Why do they need 5 safeties? Oh, my God. Do people run on you guys a lot? I would think so. The 4-2, I'd be sending an outside run against you all day. Personal, you know. Yeah. Why don't you suggest to him a 5-3-3? Tell it to a junior coach. Sell him on it. He'll take it to a senior coach and make it sound like his idea, not yours. That junior coach always wants to come up with a brilliant idea. Tell him Ghost Mosley said 5-3-3. Don't need a cornerback. All right, back to what I was saying. Oh, yeah. Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The people in the chat determine what we talk about. The show has no script. It has no agenda. It also has no live stream ads. It has no sponsors. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not running for political office. I'm not trying to become an online influencer. And I'm not trying to chase you down and tackle your wallet. I'm not coming out with a line of merch. Okay? This is the show. The people in the chat We can talk about anything you want to discuss. The only set of rules is we have to follow the community guidelines established by YouTube. Once we do that, we're golden. I preach when no one's in the chat. I'm not going to live stream dead air, and I'm not going to shut the show off. The thing I need to do as the creator is I need to be consistent. I need to be dependable. 5 days a week, 2 hours a day, I'm going to be here. Jump in, jump out. Feel free to watch the whole show or just 10 minutes. Chat or just listen. Whatever you guys want's fine by me. The only thing you can do wrong in this is not have a good time. Everything else we can fix. Okay? I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. I know, funny name. I came up with it years ago when I was songwriting. I used to have a band. When I started this project, I just took that alias that I liked and moved it forward, and I created Ghost Mostly Media, LLC. The show's going to be here every day, Monday through Friday. And it's always going to be free. The only thing you need to do is talk about what you want to talk about. If I'm talking about something and you want to change the subject, jump in the chat and change the subject. We'll turn on a dime. Okay? It is my true belief that if you're always kind to everyone, all that niceness, all that kindness will come back to you tenfold. Most people are good. The good guys outnumber the bad guys by a lot. And if you want proof, it's right here on this show. I've been doing this 5 months. No one's ever said a bad word to me, not once. If that ain't proof, I don't know what is. You know how vicious it can be on social media. I appreciate all the viewers. I appreciate the people in the chat. Wavy Mark, I appreciate you very, very much. Okay. 4G. Baller, I appreciate you. I want to thank you guys. I appreciate the viewers. I appreciate everybody. I'll be back on tomorrow at 3. In the meantime, have a good evening. Find some joy in life. You deserve it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.